The families that we serve normally are families that face tremendous challenges. Food insecurity, job insecurity, difficulty getting to appointments. Now, if the world shuts down, that situation gets magnified and these people need even more help.
A lot of families just persevere in silence, and so they don't reach out and ask for help because it is just part of their day-to-day of what they have to deal with. Tiffany, she is so unique in that her family is affected by NF type 2. She is a mom who is impacted, and then 2 of her 4 children are. And so the burden that she carries and what that family has walked through is just overwhelming to think about because it's year after year after year.
I wasn't diagnosed with NF until I was 20. I found out while I was holding my oldest. He was about 9 months old. I was holding him, and he is a wiggly little 9-month-old, and he pushed on my neck. And when he pushed on my neck, the nerve pain went straight down to my fingers. And I found a large lump right along my collarbone. So then that's when the journey started. We went to a regular PCP, and then we got sent to oncology, and we got sent to a neurologist and the neurosurgeon. Finally, I was diagnosed with NF2. No one really explained a lot. Nobody had a lot of information for us. So for about 2 or 3 years, it was just a circle. One doctor to one doctor to one doctor. And no one ever put us on a restriction to have more children. So we had another child. We have 4 boys. Our oldest is Anthony, who is 21. Then there's Aaron, who is 18, Enzo, who's 15, and Eric is 12. Our first 2 boys have NF. My oldest, we didn't find out till he was about 10. And then our second one, we found out when he was about 4. Along their line of everything that they've been through, a lot of the stuff we've gone through together. I've had spinal surgeries. I've had foot surgeries, brain surgeries, acoustic neuromas. My husband and I have been together for 24 years. It's a long time. I haven't scared him off yet. I feel very lucky that my frustration has not gone on to him. He understands. He's very helpful. He's sometimes pretty tough with me, but it's to help me get up and to help me do what he knows that I want to do. But in that moment of weakness, he's just like, stop being weak. We got to get up. We got to move. The sooner you move, the better, the recovery is. Sometimes it's just hard, and I'm like, I just want to lay here and I just want to be left alone and let me cry and let me feel my emotions. It's a lot for somebody to come into and deal with that by my side. He's been there for every single surgery, every single procedure. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Tiffany, she is just one of those just strong and determined moms that just suffers in silence. She takes it on and she doesn't ask for help. But this last time, she had to find care at specialists that would do her surgery out of state. So she had to travel. She had to incur travel expenses, hotel, air costs, food, time off work for her husband. And then the providers that she was seeing out of state were then, of course, out of network. And so then we're talking co-pays, deductibles, hospitalization, that all was out of network.
My doctor here was like, you can't, I can't let you go anywhere else. I need you to see this doctor. And he's like, I feel bad for the financial aspect that it's going to take on you, but I don't trust anybody else here locally to send you. And we swiped the card and we're like, we'll deal with it later. And then dealing with it later, and it's just like, oh my God, how are we going to deal with it? Every single radiation treatment, gotta swipe the card. That's 6 weeks, 5 times a week. No one's really prepared for the financial aspect or how much it's going to hit. The amount of bills that came in afterwards was just absolutely ridiculous. So when you guys stepped in, it was like, I can take a deep breath.
You were the first organization that I thought of because the financial piece was the big barrier for Tiffany at that point, and that was what was weighing so heavy. Not only was she going through an extensive, very, very critical surgery, but then in the back of her head was, how is she going to pay for all of this? For you all to be able to alleviate a big portion of that was so impactful because it gave her peace, a little bit of peace about in midst of a just really worrisome time and situation.
To me, the most important thing that we do is restoring the dignity in our patients' lives. And what that means is that when you're a patient, and the people in the audience will relate to this, it can be really undignified. Sometimes you're in pain and you have to ask for help. They poke you, they draw blood, you're scared. If you have food insecurity and you have to think where my next meal is going to be coming from, that's deeply humiliating and undignified. If you have all these medical bills and you cannot pay them and you have to beg somebody to reduce the bill, that's undignified. By doing what we do, we restore dignity into people's lives. I cannot think of anything more valuable like that. If I can say one more thing, is to remind the audience what our mission is. When we ask you to help us, you're helping us restore that dignity that we would all like to have. I would just like you to think about a moment in which you felt that lack of dignity, that it was hard for you to deal with, and understand how would you be able to deal with that. Most of our audience have the ability to do that financially. These people don't. So we need your help to help them.